Good evening, everyone. I now call to order the Thursday, February 23rd, 2023 meeting of the City of Sugar Land Planning and Zoning Commission. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, commissioners. First item 2, public comment, public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up tonight for public comment or public hearing?
No, sir.
All right, then we will move on to item 3A, consideration of and action on the minutes of the February 14, 2023 meeting. You have the minutes in your packets. I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Landine.
Second.
I've got a second from Commissioner Parikh. Any discussion? All right, please vote. And that passes unanimously among members present. Thank you very much, commissioners. Item 4, public hearing. Let me start over. Item 4, a public hearing. We will receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on the proposed amendment to the final development plan, University Commons Phase 3, ordinance number 2270, to add an additional permitted land use located at the northeast corner of US Highway 59 and University Boulevard and Telfair Track 4, further described as 3.321 acres of land located in the Alexander Hodge League, abstract number 32, Fort Bend County. And we have Laura Waller. Good evening, Laura.
Good evening. So this should be fairly straightforward. The University Commons Phase 3 FDP did just come before y'all just a few months ago. So it's this, let me find the mouse, there it is. It's this corner here at University and 59. They are now proposing to add a use of vet services. So that's going to be use 0742 for animal services for small animals. Again, the PD was recently approved. This was just omitted unintentionally. And the site layouts have also, for the overall site, have been updated to also show a small animal relief area. So again, we have that updated use list that just highlights here that this is the new use being permitted. And then these are the 3 new site layouts for each of the 3 options that were allowed in that land use. So showing a small red area here, that's going to be that designated pet area between these 2 reserves in each of the 3 options. The public hearing notice requirements were met. Property owners within 200 feet got mailers as well as notification published online and in the paper. We have not received any inquiries, no comments, forms, and we're not aware of any opposition. And therefore, staff does support a recommendation of approval to the mayor and city council. We do have the applicant available for questions as well.
At this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 4A. Anyone here would like to address the commission on this agenda item? Last call. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and we'll move on to questions for staff. Anyone have questions for Laura? Commissioner Smith?
Thanks, Laura. So for my clarity, you said that the final development plan has been approved. So it's approved with all of the different options.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean then when the one building finally gets built, then that will be the option that's going to be built out in that area? How does that work if we've got all these different options of how this area could be built out? A, B, C, D? Or we just...
Let me just clarify. Let me make sure I understand this.
Yeah.
These are the 3, these exhibits are already there and they're already approved in the PD. The only thing we're looking at tonight is the one additional use, correct?
The one additional use, yes. And then these 3 layouts are all the approved layouts of the different options for the building configurations.
Right.
And the only thing that's changing is they are adding a designated pet relief area in that red box, which is primarily, it's between these 2 buildings here.
So I was just trying to get clarity as to when do they go to which, when do we know which option gets built?
Whenever they go through their site plan process.
Okay. So the question that I have, so I went back to the other documentation we had when this came forward, and there was another exhibit that showed the transparency plan.
For the windows on the front of the buildings.
Options. Mm-hmm. And in the buildings, there was still, if transparency means it would be open, right? Am I interpreting that correctly? Mm-hmm. So if this were a dog run here, then in some of the options, it looked like this part of the building for the building, I guess it's building 1, or this, the building 1.
Here, over here?
that it would potentially be open to that dog run.
So it's not necessarily a dog run, it's just an outdoor grassy area for relief. It's not going to be like a fenced off area to leave dogs outdoors.
So it's just for them to walk
It's
the
just,
dog
it's a
out
relief,
there
yes. And I'm not sure exactly what the transparency plans look like, but I believe that they are primarily towards the front and the parking lot side rather than the grassy side. This would be more the rear of the building.
Okay. And I didn't catch this on the last time, but it's interesting that the walkway for that building, your people are going to be walking behind the trash for that whole area. I don't know. I didn't see that the first time, but I thought that was sort of odd that we had that. And it also looks very tight for a dump truck to get in there, but I know this has already been approved. But that's all my questions.
Okay. Commissioner DeWitt, you had a question?
Yeah, I mean, so these exhibits are not up for discussion anymore because they were approved?
Correct.
Correct. The amendment tonight is to amend that land use and to add the pet designation, the pet relief area.
Yeah. No, I have no objection to adding this pet use or vet clinic, but I'm just looking at this Exhibit B 2.1.1, and it's marked off in gray at the bottom. And then if you look at the legend, it says sites to be sold. And a site is being proposed to be sold without a dumpster in it, and I'm wondering how will that work? I mean, I don't understand how this is going to work with so many options. And let's just say Exhibit B 2.1.1 gets enforced, right? If one building is sold, if one building envelope of 15,000 square foot is sold or put to use or, developed further, then that is the option that kicks in for this entire plan.
Correct.
GDP plan, right? All other options are then null and void.
Well, I guess each of the different pad sites kind of has its own options. So it's primarily that corner, if it's going to be one of those two options, yes, that does kind of lock it in.
Yeah. If it locks it in, then in this one, they've also marked gray, and then there are no trash dumpsters for the gray area that is marked as sites to be sold. I don't know how that will work.
So they're not required to have a dumpster. They're required to
Okay.
screen it if they have it, but they don't have to have a dumpster. I guess they could keep their trash indoors, put out their trash cans for pickup each day. That's all handled during our site plan processing. So if there is trash, if there's waste, that's all handled through the site plan. They'll have to find a place to put it where it is screened.
Okay, so they will come back and revise and do a site layout and that sort of thing.
If that's necessary, but it's a small enough change that would be handled administratively
Yeah.
through the site plan process because it's a standard development code requirement.
And just for my understanding, Exhibit B 2.1.2, did we approve last time, and I'm just trying to recollect this, a drive-through lane for, is that a restaurant pad or what is it?
I'm not sure but yes, that's a drive-through.
It could be, right? I don't remember that. I don't know that it's specified for what it will be at this point in time, but it was approved, as you see, all these exhibits.
It's a pickup only window. It's not you
Yeah.
don't order there. It's just a
That's
pickup
what
only
I
window.
remembered, that there was some conversation around it. Okay. No, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any other questions for staff or the applicant?
I had just a curiosity. With the designation of the small animal, does that restrict the square footage of the site?
No, what it does, it restricts so it wouldn't be large animals. So that's things like goats, cows, horses. It's
Got it.
small animals, household pets.
And then by the location of the designated pet area, am I incorrect in assuming that this use could only be applied to buildings 1 or 2 in any of the configurations, or is that?
I mean, I suppose theoretically it could go in site A, but there would be access agreements to
Right.
make that work.
Okay, and I think you already confirmed that there wouldn't be pets outdoor or animals outdoors during the day, but there could be overnight, correct?
Indoors, yes.
Indoors, yeah. Nope, I'm good. Just those questions.
Any further?
Can I make a motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval to mayor and city council for proposed amendment to the final development plan, University Commons Phase 3, ordinance number 2270 to add an additional permitted use, land use located at the northeast corner of US Highway 59 and University Boulevard in Telfair Track 4, further described as 3.321 acres of land located in the Alexander Hodge League, abstract number 32, Fort Bend County, to the members of city council.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Landine. Commissioner DeWitt, was that you on the second? Yes. All right, I've got a motion and a second. Let's vote. All right, that passes unanimously among the members present. Thank you very much. And we will move on to item 5A, Planning and Zoning Commission Liaison Report from the February 21st City Council meeting. I bet most of us watched it, but do we have an actual liaison here tonight? What's that? Okay, well,
Maybe
Then-
staff can give us a report.
well, I think, yeah, well, if you want to include that in staff report, you can. I'm sure Commissioner Brown, if he were here, would report that the Imperial Development Plan passed 5-1.
That's
Lauren?
correct. That is correct. Yep. So the council held, they actually had 3 public hearings on Tuesday. So the K-9
Oh, that's right.
CUP went forward and was passed, and the Broadstone, thank you, the Broadstone, so just the permanent zoning on the existing apartments in new territory. And then, yes, the third one was the Imperial item for the general development plan and the land use plan amendment, and that did pass 5-1 by council. So we'll be moving forward. You all will be involved. We will all be involved in a lot of upcoming next steps over the next year and years, potentially.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you, Lauren. 5B, City Staff Report.
Sure, and then I'll continue. So next meetings are the 14th and 23rd again, back to back, February and March. The 14th, we will have engineering, and our team will be talking about the mobility, master mobility plan, and walking us through public hearing and recommending action to the council on that. And then we will be doing a workshop on a new overlay district that we're going to be proposing for the mall area. So we'll be doing a workshop with the commission on that. So should be fun.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Landine, second by Commissioner Parikh. Let's vote. All in favor? Aye, that passes. We are adjourned. Thank you. Good night, everyone.